liberal media. Confessed ex-terrorists. Can you imagine on the media, on the radio? I remember the first interview in the liberal media, I'd say, with Walid, since you're a confessed terrorist, don't you think you belong in prison? So you know what, you're right. I am a confessed terrorist, and I do belong in prison. But why is it that you only want to imprison the confessed terrorist and you want to release the real terrorist in Guantanamo Bay?
You call him.
Then I took a plane to England. You think America is bad? Go to England. I went to the BBC. They had these three so-called scholars who wanted to kind of rebut what I was talking about. I said, listen to me. Islamic terrorism has nothing to do with land. Islamic terrorism has nothing to do with America's so-called occupation of Iraq. Americans did not occupy Iraq. Americans liberated Kuwait. Americans shot down the rapists who went to kill Muslims, who went to rape young girls in Kuwait. What happened to that?
Yeah.
Let's not occupy Iraq. That's not why they're pissed off. It's got nothing to do with the foreign policy. It's got nothing to do with Israel establishing a state either. I said Islamic terrorism has something to do with Islamic salvation. That's what it has something to do with. In fact, what changed me was not land deals. What changed me was not concession. What changed me was not all this talk that I hear in the radio. What changed me is when I read the Bible and saw that I do not have to give my life for a law, that God of the Bible already gave His Son to die for me. Of course, typical of the liberal media, the first interviewer says, Mr. Shoebat, it always takes two to tango. I said, no, sir, that's another myth. It does not take two to tango. There's usually a rapist and there's a rape victim. What does the victim do to tango? If it takes always two to tango, tell me, what did the Jews do to tango in Nazi Germany, sir?
Yeah.
So the second person said they must have done something. I said, tell the English people what did the Jews do to tango in Nazi Germany. He realized he just shoved his own shoe in his mouth. The third person wanted to help him. So he said, Mr. Shoebat, with that English accent, Mr. Shoebat, today's problems today, we're dealing with a lot of fundamentalism. So the world can do without fundamentalism. Fundamentalism in all scales is the problem. I said, no, sir. Everyone's fundamentalist. There's fundamentalist liberals. There's fundamentalist socialists. There's fundamentalist communists. There's fundamentalist Christians. There's fundamentalist Muslims. There are moderate Muslims. There are fundamentalist Muslims. There are all kinds of fundamentalists. That's not the problem. Muslim fundamentalists are different than Christian fundamentalists. When I came on the strip, I got to the person next to me. I knew he was not going to play soccer. I knew he was in the middle of the air, so I began to open my Bible and witness to him about Christianity. And I admit, I must have given this person a headache. But a Muslim fundamentalist takes the whole head right off. You're telling me there's no difference? The day I became a Christian, I never forget about it. It seems like it's a sin to become a Christian in this country these days. I spoke at the Air Force Academy, headline news the second day. They're preaching Christianity at the Air Force Academy because I simply answered a question. The question is that a terrorist, by the shedding of his blood, he enters paradise.